Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another video for my wedding series. It has been way too long. I'm sorry, I just got really busy doing other topics and other content, but I have so much good stuff to share about the wedding, vendors, experiences, tips. So don't worry, I have not forgotten. This wedding series won't end until it is complete. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the designing process of making my Indian bridal lehenga, aka my Indian wedding dress. I'm going to talk to you about vendors, I'm going to talk to you about quotes, I'm going to talk to you about my inspiration, and I'll show you guys the jewelry that I wore and the color scheme that I was kind of going for. Really quickly before we get started, I just did a new contour routine with the cream contour and cream blush. I usually do not use cream products because I break out easily, and like I mentioned before, sometimes I'm too scared to try a new product. But I actually really am just loving the way it came out, so let me know if you guys would want a makeup tutorial of this look, because it's so easy. And I used the new brush that I showed you guys in my AliExpress haul. This brush is divine. Look at this. Wooden handle. Just so aesthetic. Alright, enough of that. Let's get into the wedding dresses. So when I started designing my Indian bridal lehenga, the first thing I did, of course, was go to Pinterest and type in Indian bridal inspiration. I had heard that red was the traditional bridal color of India, but they said that in these more modern times, brides pretty much just choose any color that they want. You see some brides in beautiful pastel colors, others will do like a deep purple. And the key to looking like the bride is just that you're literally the most decked out person in the room. Your dress is the heaviest and the most ornate. You've got this gorgeous jewelry. And my favorite part, you get to wear I think it's called the mantika? The gorgeous forehead jewelry. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I think it is mantika. Anyway, so originally when I was thinking of my wedding dress, my first thought was not to go for a red wedding gown. I think I may have been pretty open about this in the past, but I just love neutral colors and not so much pastels like baby pink and baby green. Yes, I do love it, but that's not what I was thinking for the wedding. I was thinking I would just do like an all nude outfit, a lot of jewelry, a lot of embroidery. And I was looking at some inspiration on Pinterest, but to be honest with you, I felt that so many of the outfits were beautiful, but they just weren't really speaking to me. And I have to credit Priyanka Chopra Jonas. I absolutely love her, what she stands for, just so many things I really like about her. She's definitely a celebrity crush of mine and a woman that I admire. She's so accomplished and she gives back to really the world, which I think every one of us should strive to do if we're able. Anyway, I love her. I'm sure everybody knows when she got married, she wore a red on red gown. She wore this gorgeous gown, and she also had like a multicultural fusion wedding. So of course, like, I love that too. So I kind of just got this idea in my head. I said, you know what? I think I want to go with the traditional bridal color of red. Why not? You only get married once. Knock on wood. You only get married once, and tradition is beautiful. I love tradition. So I said, okay, let me just try the red dress. I didn't want to do red and gold, which I know is really popular, and a lot of my Indian friends from dental school did red and gold for their weddings. I wanted to do the red on red, which I'm told is kind of like a modern fusion twist to it. So then I was like, okay, my mind is made up. It's settled. The dress is going to be red on red. Now, where do we get it? I went to some stores in Artesia. For those of you guys who live in California, you might know that there's a Little India in Artesia Cerritos. You get some of the best Indian food, and there's an entire strip of Indian clothing stores specifically for bridal and wedding guests, etc. So I went in, I took a look at some of the ready-made dresses that they had on the rack, and I'm not gonna lie to you, they were really expensive. Which, to be honest, I knew that Indian clothes was expensive because it was all handmade, but they were actually significantly more expensive than a lot of the Western wedding dress designers, and I guess that just has to do with the ornateness of the fabric and how much embroidery, hand sewn embroidery these dresses have. It takes a lot of time to make, and they're made out of silk as well, so I'm sure that the materials definitely add to the cost, labor and materials. So the dresses that I was seeing in the store were $8,000. But then they were like, oh, you know, you could do a promo and we would give it to you 50% off, so it'd be $4,000 before alterations and just kind of like off the rack, which was still expensive. My mother-in-law was like, no, that's too expensive for the dress that's on the mannequin. It was nice, but it wasn't like the nicest of the nice. So we said, okay, we're gonna keep on searching. I also went to have a bridal consultation with a designer in the Bay Area who had designed my cousin-in-law's wedding dress. I'm not gonna mention any names. She's a pretty popular designer, and at that time we went on direct referral from my husband's aunt, and we didn't even know that she had actually messed up the wedding dress order for Sona's wedding. Sona is my cousin-in-law. So we went in completely blind. I had no idea until literally like a year later. We go in, we meet her. Some of the dresses she had, yes, were beautiful, and I did love some of the color schemes that she had going on. But the thing that I didn't like the most was that she was really pushy. First off, for just one dress, as we all know, an Indian bride needs multiple dresses for multiple events. For just one dress, she was charging me $7,500, or quoting me. She was quoting me $7,500. It was gonna be more if I wanted to have a veil. It was gonna be more for the jewelry on top of that. And this is a pretty substantial amount. She's really was the only designer that we had met with. So my mother-in-law was like, you know what, why don't we have one more appointment? Let's just see someone else out. This person has pretty good reviews on Google. And so we made an appointment with her, and in between that time, it had only been about 4 or 5 days since my initial bridal consultation. This designer was pressuring the hell out of me. She was like, I have another bride that's interested, and I need to know by the end of today if you're gonna do it or not, because I can only take on so many people at once. I respect that and I get that, but the problem was that I just felt pressured. It felt like kind of like a sleazy sales tactic where they're like, you need to tell me by today, otherwise you can't have it anymore. And that is actually a sales technique that a lot of people in sales use to close the deal, and I just didn't feel right about it. I wasn't comfortable with the price, and I felt like I was being pressured into making a decision that I wasn't 100% sure of. So we ended up just saying, you know what, I completely understand, but I can't give you an answer right now. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if it's not, it's not. God's plans are perfect, right? So if she can't take me, then it just wasn't meant to be. And thank God that we didn't end up going with her, because the second designer that we met with, she was just such a joy to work with. She also had a huge selection of ready-made dresses. The dress that she made for me, though, she actually custom made based off a photo I showed her. I did show her Priyanka Chopra's dress, and some other inspiration photos that I found on Pinterest. I told her what I liked, what I didn't like. She also ended up making a veil for me with embroidery around the edges. So I got my bridal lehenga from her, I got the dress that I wore to my Grashtanti from her, and I got my Mendi dress from her, and everything for the total package was $5,000. So for $2,500 less than the first designer was quoting me, I got 3 dresses instead of just one. Mind you, $5,000 is still expensive in my opinion. A lot of the Western dresses I was trying on were like $2,000. So I was like, oh my God, these things are so expensive. But I'm really grateful that my in-laws did help to pay a portion of it. So they did contribute a little bit, and then my husband and I just paid the rest. When I was working at that time, I was literally saving every single penny I could. So it was fine, but sometimes even if you have the savings, doesn't mean you want to spend it. Anyway, for the price and comparing to all the other quotes I had gotten, I did feel like it was a pretty fair deal. And then back to the original designer that gave the exorbitant quote, come to find out that the dress that she made for Sona was friggin' short. Not only did it arrive the week of the wedding, which is cutting it way too close, the measurements were off, which is unacceptable if you're going to be paying almost $10,000 for a dress. The measurements need to be right. So overall, I was just really happy that I ended up going with the designer I went with. So now for the information. Her name is Vama, or well, her name's not Vama, but the name of her company is Vama Designs. She's based out of San Jose, California. That's where my fiance, my husband, that's where my husband's from. Oops. We're talking wedding dresses. I got confused. I forgot. We've almost been married a year. Anyway, she's based out of San Jose. And my husband and I actually ended up getting all of our wedding outfits from her. We got his wedding outfits, my wedding outfits, and we got the outfits for the bridesmaids and the groomsmen. So to kind of break down the looks, my wedding dress ended up being the red on red material. It was a red silk skirt with red netting on top, and the netting had that gorgeous red jewel embroidery. I also had a gorgeous veil that I put on over. I ended up not walking down with a veil, but having that extra piece of fabric allowed me to have the dupatta on my head and my hair, and I also just draped the other dupatta. Was already like pinned, so I didn't have to like take it off and then put it on, if that makes sense. I only got one dress to wear for the actual day of the wedding, and I know traditionally the bride will change dresses after the ceremony and change into a new gown for the reception. Our reception was immediately after. I'm talking boom, we're married, we go outside, we take pictures, we come back in, everybody's there, nobody left. There was not like a lot of time in between. So I said, I'm wearing the same dress, and this dress is so beautiful. I would be so sad if I had to take it off after like only 2 hours. So we decided that I was just gonna be in the same dress. It might have been different if we had like a 3 or 4 day event. So if the ceremony was not the same day as the Indian reception, then maybe I would have changed outfits, or I definitely would have changed outfits. I probably wouldn't have worn the same thing. But because it was right then, same day, literally 20 minutes after, I said, I'm just gonna rewear this gorgeous gown and get my money's worth and just feel like an Indian bride, an Indian princess. When I was deciding on the jewelry, I didn't know if I wanted to do all gold or gold and white. I really had it in my mind that I wanted to do gold and red. And some people were like, oh, it's gonna be too much red, it's gonna be too much red, are you sure? And I said, yes, I'm sure, with conviction. I feel it in my heart. I want it to be all just one color. The plating, the metal was gold, but the jewelry, like the beads in the jewelry were a gorgeous red. And it ended up being so perfect. It looked beautiful. I didn't feel that it was too much red. And that's really all that matters, right? Like you, when you're the bride, if you feel happy and you're satisfied, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Another great thing is that I know that traditionally the Indian bride will have fresh flowers put in her hair. And I was really set on also having red roses. I think my brother went out and he got me the fresh red roses the day before or the morning of, and they put them in my hair. I had my hair in kind of like a low bun. Now this is what was so awesome. I had gotten the inspiration from a photo on Pinterest of an Indian bride, but when they put the flowers in my hair, I ended up looking a little bit like a Spanish dancer. The red roses in the hair is very typical for that type of Spanish dancer. It was beautiful. People in my family were saying like, wow, you're the most like Mexican Indian bride ever. It was a beautiful fusion, and it ended up being even better than I could have expected or anticipated. I'm gonna show you the jewelry. Let me grab it really quick. Okay, so this is my Indian bridal jewelry. I have it in this little box and I've labeled it Indian wedding jewelry because it's a really big set. By the way, I have literally the best way to organize your Indian jewelry, and I'm going to be filming that, so stay tuned for that. All right, so first off, here is the necklace. She is such a beauty. So it's a mix of gold and red gems, and there's little tiny baby pearls, as you can see right there as well. I'm getting such nostalgia holding this. See? What a gorgeous ass statement piece. Ooh. And then my top was kind of like that sweetheart neckline right here. So it covered up just enough. It wasn't super long. I did want to have like a little bit of skin showing, but honestly, I want to go back already. Not to the stress, but just to the good times. I can never get rid of this, ever. I'll save it for my daughter. And then it has a matching earring and mantika set, which I will show you. This necklace and actually jewelry set was purchased in India. So my mother-in-law's cousin, who still lives in India, was coming to the wedding, and we were not able to successfully procure any Indian jewelry from here. They said that they couldn't make it the way that I wanted, so she actually went to a store. She asked them to make something like this for me, and they did. Down to the colors, she showed me the same style of necklace, but just in different colors, and they were able to customize that for me. And then she literally flew with it in her bag to California when she was on her way to the wedding. So I had no idea what the jewelry was gonna look like literally until days before the wedding. I was so happy it came out beautifully. Here are the earrings. and the mantika. Oh my god, guys. I need to go to a wedding soon because I'm trying to dress up. Indian fashion is the best. Here's this together. Truly, Indian fashion is so spectacular. I told my husband that when we go visit, and I'm dying to go visit, when we do, I was like, I want to get my hands on all of the jewelry and like all of the sarees and lehengas that I can. Because yeah, we have people that make Indian clothes here and Indian jewelry here, but it's not the same as when it comes from the country. Just some of the most beautiful things. So the set was pretty expensive, if I'm not mistaken. I think that it was $500 for the jewelry. I could be wrong. It may have been $250, but I don't think so. I think I remember them saying that it was about $500, which I think is probably more or less what a bridal set costs. I know that when I've looked online, these things can go in the thousands, I guess depending on the kind of jewels that they use. So I did feel that that was a fair price. She felt it was a fair price, so I was just kind of going based off of her recommendations. So now I'm just going to really quickly mention the other two outfits that I had. I got an outfit that was just off the rack in her studio for the Grashanti. It was kind of like an ivory with peach and red embroidery with little roses. So beautiful. Of course, I took it off when we were doing the actual turmeric, spreading of the turmeric. I got just like a plain white silk top and pant set from Amazon. It was only $30 and it was perfect. So $30, clearly it was gonna get stained and I wasn't gonna cry about it. I think I might have kept it though, honestly. I think I may have kept it. I don't know where it is though, but I'm one of those people that doesn't want to get rid of anything, especially if it holds sentimental value. And then for my Mehndi night, I had a green sari made. Now, this is really awesome. Vama, she was amazing. It was a pre-stitched sari. It was pre-stitched. So nobody had to be there pinning me. It came with its own petticoat, and I had a pearl top that I had purchased off of Etsy before. So I asked her, can you just make the embroidery rim on the bottom? Can you make them little white pearls? And she did, and it matched beautifully. The jewelry that I wore for that event also was from Etsy. I get a lot of my really great Indian jewelry from there. They actually do come from India, so that's really awesome, and they're really heavy and really good quality. I've gotten Indian jewelry from Amazon as well, but not all of those are from India. I'm not sure exactly, but they're kind of lighter. They look beautiful, but they're not the highest quality. They do feel very light. And you can just tell that it's made of a little cheaper metal and lighter metal, which is not a problem because it's not so heavy. So with the earrings and stuff, it's actually great. I think it's good to have a mix of both expensive and affordable jewelry, so you have something to wear for every occasion. So on the topic of the sari, I ended up asking Vama if she could make the same exact type of sari, the same design, style, everything for my bridesmaids, but in like a golden peach color. So it was kind of like a beige color. I guess we can call it gold. And they came out fantastic. He gave us a really good price because I had 10 bridesmaids, so I had to have 10 of them made. And I did want to keep it a little more affordable for the ladies, which weddings are never affordable. You spend so much money. I'm so grateful to each and every one of them. Everyone spends money at a wedding, like to travel and the 2 dresses, and then they got their hair and makeup done. They came to the bachelorette. Like, it's really quite an investment. So thank you guys so much. I love you if you're watching. But I was trying to keep each bridesmaid's dress that they needed to get at $100 or less. So for the Indian sari, she quoted us $150, and I ended up compensating $50 towards each sari, and then the ladies only had to pay $100, which is actually so great for Indian clothing that looks gorgeous. It's actually really reasonable. All of the bridesmaids' jewelry was from Amazon. Again, it wasn't like the highest quality, but to be honest, you're probably gonna only wear it that one time. I've heard that you're really not supposed to wear the mantika to someone else's wedding if you're not the bride. Did I say that right? Only the bride gets to wear the bling bling, like the big bling. Or it's like in bad taste, they say that maybe you shouldn't. So what I did was all of the ladies had the earrings and the choker necklaces, and then just for my 2 maids of honor, I did have 2 maid of honors, my cousin, she was there when I was born, and my best friend, who I've been friends with since we were 2 years old, so like my whole life. They were both my maids of honor. I had them put on the mantika just to kind of be able to distinguish. Okay guys, well that's pretty much the end of the story of designing my bridal lehenga. I love how it turned out. At first I was like, really shell-shocked by what an investment the wedding was. And so when we came back, I was like, I'm just gonna sell this. I'm gonna put it on a reseller website like Poshmark or whatever. I'm just gonna try to sell my Indian bridal lehenga. And then a couple days later, I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna take it off. And so I still have it, and I don't think I can ever sell it now. I think I've just decided that I'm gonna keep it. I hope that maybe, I don't know, it can work for a video or something. Like, I'll have to try to find another way to wear it. It's just too beautiful to sit in a bag in the closet for the rest of its life. Thanks guys again so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, please leave me a comment. I do get back to all the comments, maybe not like right away, but definitely within the week or within a couple of days. I like to get back to all of my comments. So if you have something in particular that you want to ask, feel free to do that. I'm gonna be linking all the information where I got my wedding dress in the description box. I'm also gonna have all her info like in the video. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'm gonna be having more videos of my wedding series coming out, so you don't wanna miss those. Hey guys, take care. I will see you next week.